Hey, what's going on, y'all? Back with another one, back with another one, back with another one. All right. This is the Embracing Being an Independent Thinker 19. We're talking about the governor race and the Senate race in Georgia. And I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it real quick. Let's see what's going on in here. Yeah. I know people don't like the fact. Let's see. Let's talk about it's nonprofit. Da, 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 da. Hey, what's going on? Salute. Yeah, but the election is here. I already voted last week. Last week was an experience, and I think it's still going on today. Everybody's still voting, so the traffic's kind of low. It's a long lines like you got now because it's like 2:30 Eastern right now. Because earlier it was quiet. It was quiet in the morning because it's a long day. Everybody's out voting, so it's packed. So we'll see who's going to be the Senate. But the Libertarian guy is fucking things up for both candidates. So if neither one of them gets 50%, it'll be a runoff in December. So I'll vote again this December if it becomes a runoff for the Senate race. Now the governor race is different. Um, there's a lot of people going to vote in droves. They think a lot of men's going to vote. No, it's a lot of women voting. Not all women are early voting. Now I heard the CNN guy I saw in my searches, and he said they was voting. That's true. That's the ones that got money, but the ones that don't, they're gonna vote in droves. This election is very different because the abortion thing is gonna be a factor of them coming together. So I think Georgia's on a different the way this state has been ran or the culture's changed. They're gonna side with the women anyways because Georgia's always headed down that road. They try to set people back the way it was. It's not coming back. After that pandemic, they're not trusting no dudes like that. He's letting you know in a heartbeat that this shit is gonna continue the way it's gonna be and it's gonna bend. It's just like how the hell they gonna change everything? You know what I mean? But that's how I look at it. Because certain things gotta go. You just gotta understand that this is a different time period. So when you have people talking about this election, I think this is very important. Most people are not going to see it for what it is, and I'm just coming to show you. And that's just how it is. And like I said, this election is going to be a very interesting year because most people they're going to look at it like, how can we change things? And then they talk about the economy, inflation. Inflation it's an issue, but to be honest with you, it's not really an issue. Yeah, it affects families, but if you're making a lot of money, it's not affecting you. Now, the average person that don't make that, yeah, it affects them, but that's what are you doing though? Y'all need to stop listening to mainstream media. They be lying to y'all. People make money all the time. Inflation is just another means to end. It fucks up prices, yeah, but y'all got money. Y'all need to stop thinking like rich folks, and rich folks don't fuck with y'all like that. Especially wealthy people. You gotta live in what y'all means, especially in this sorry state, Georgia. They so retarded and narcissistic. They don't even know what the hell to do with their kids. The state is so fucking broken. I could tell you. Not everybody's gonna vote for Walker and Kemp, and a lot of people they voting for them, but you got to be careful. If you vote for them, and if they don't win, what are you doing this for? They don't care if they win or lose. But in reality, I don't think they're gonna win. It's just like people putting their eggs in one basket. Think about it. I know people's not. I can say the same thing about Stacey, but Warnock. But you got to know who they're backed by. They're backed by the same people that y'all complain about, and they play both sides of the argument. It's the same type. So there's other crowd don't want, and there's the women crowd don't want a man tell to do with our body, the abortion thing. See, this goes back to YouTube. Like if you niggas preach that shit, they're gonna ban certain things. This is gonna happen if they get in there, and I'm not tripping off of it, but keep doing what y'all doing. It's gonna be a problem in the future. You can't have that in society and expect people to change and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But most of the times, people just get caught up on the bullshit, thinking it's okay, but it's not okay. You gotta understand this world is different than it once was when we was in it. So we gotta act like we got some sense. Not everybody's gonna side with that. Y'all catch my drift? So it's a different world because I already knew the reset was already here, and then they gonna side with the women. They already let us know about that. The dudes just need to get their minds right, everything else together, and then just move forward and stop engaging in them in frivolous arguments that don't make sense online and actually do some shit. See, what women are doing and most of these men are not doing, they have an alliance to go against you, especially in this damn state. And these dudes ain't doing nothing but complain about them. And I don't believe in generational supremacy. But shouts to the whack. He was talking about it on the tail end of his video. I'm the same way, but it's really I don't subscribe to any of it. Our generation, yeah, we're fucked up, but it's our older generation. To be fair, you have to balance the two out. They both ain't shit. And to be honest with you, the younger generation ain't shit either. So I can't say they're the better generation. We can't say that. They said they're gonna be better. No, they're not. If they keep blowing each other's brains out, what I saw from Takeoff, Takeoff didn't die. If someone else killed him in that inner circle of Quavo on them, you're always gonna have idiots running around. So I agree with George Macon on that. We can't be aggressive with the youth, and some are gonna make it, and most ain't. The most is gonna perish. I'm gonna be honest with you. The ones I see this better than that person, I'll tell them, look, every generation has it. If they don't have it, they're just like everybody else. I'm gonna pick a select few of them in the young generation. The rest of them is just pathetic. It's only a handful I trust that will do the right thing. Like I talked on somebody's panel last year. His name was what's his name? Garris or something like that. Garrison or Garris. He's a good kid. He's 24, right? He'll be 25 this year, but in reality, he's on his way. And then people on down. Those people that have a good head on their shoulders, they're gonna be fine. It's the majority of them outside of these spaces is going to be the problem. If you don't have that, you're going to have problems with people in general because they're not going to come back around and expect things to change. They know the older generation ain't shit. They know ours wasn't shit either, but they understand that we're struggling because of the older generation. So it's understandable everybody's been blinded. So you got to understand this stuff is not going away. So I don't subscribe to that generational supremacy nonsense. I really don't, because all it does is creates more bullshit, and there we are. And everybody's talking about the T gender movement. It is what it is, man. Yeah, it's just like and then and let me address the comment on about Mr. Fenella. He's irrelevant. Like to Fatty, but Fatty has to understand we have problems since 2020, so it's not no beef. I just like trolling the motherfucker. Okay, Florida medical bra votes for ban to gender affirmative care for T gender youth. Oh, and they can get a boy. Oh, see, you see, they coming out of the woodwork. I try to tell you, they try to, and I'm telling you, this is what this is about. They're coming out of the woodwork. I just read on someone's Instagram and they support that, but I just leave them alone. I just observe, and I was like, this is on my opening feed. Someone had it on the public screen, and I was looking at that. I was like, see, we already lost, man. Like the dude's already lost that. You just got to understand this world is going for that, and this is what this election is all about. So they're pushing it. They're pushing it to the point, and what you're seeing, that's gonna be the future. So on dress fatty for that comment. I try to explain to him. I like trolling the nigga. All right, if y'all don't know, me and him got issues. It's gonna remain that way till time. Ain't gonna be no peace for that nigga, man. Y'all know what it is. Nobody fucks with that dude like that. He ain't making no content like that. Ain't nobody listening to him. I know people don't listen to me, but shouts to the ones that was in the clouds listening. Appreciate y'all. But I'm just saying, like, we do what we do. But you got people get caught up on the wrong shit all the time. So it's not like something we expect much. But you got to understand, this stuff is going to continue when time passes. So again, this is the shit that I always see all the time. We're not worried about the bullshit. We're not. We're not worried about it. So we're not worried about individuals talking bad about us. You know what I'm saying? Well, we just gonna speak our mind and do what we do. Especially me, because I'm the only one speaking my mind on this platform right here. But the election that you're seeing in Georgia is a dramatic change what's going on in the world. So yes, this is the second time they fought since 2018. This is 4 years ago. 4 years ago, she fought Kemp and Kemp beat her. They try to say it's gonna be the same thing. I highly doubt that. Not the recent events when the abortion changed. Women are not going for that. They're still on that mindset. And we're gonna see how the ballots cast. I'm gonna watch it tonight. You know, I ain't gonna be on here this long, but I'm gonna let y'all know it's gonna be like I ain't gonna be on here that long. I'm just gonna let y'all know because I might end it a little early, but I'm just saying I'm just gonna speak my mind about what's going on in the election. I'll get a couple minutes. Yeah, I'll talk to y'all like 15 minutes, like an hour or something like that. Because I ain't gonna be on here that long. Because I don't know if I'm gonna drop it. If you want to conversate, that's cool. I'll drop it early, and then we'll end it or whatever. But it depends. It depends because it's a open discussion. But we're gonna talk about how the election is gonna be. But yeah, this is my independent thinking. We gotta understand that everybody's minds is on a different page. But that's the page that you're gonna be in, right? So you expect people to do more and expect people to be more of what's gonna happen. But in all fairness, you see things that matters to certain people. But you gotta understand that a lot of people are not on the same page in the state how things is running the country. Now they said they try and get rid of crime and just who cares? That's people's emotions. Hell, I remember when any governor has crime under their leadership, allows crime and don't do a damn thing about it. Now Democrats will do something on crime. They try to say they don't do nothing on crime. Yes, they do. They lock them niggas up and they give them like life sentences. They give them like 100-year sentence. They give them 50-year sentence. They give them 40-year sentence. They do it all the time. Democrats lock people up because they don't want no headache. They'll send the feds on you, and next thing you know, you're doing hard time. You're not escaping that shit. I don't give a fuck who you is. You will be crushed. Republicans, like I said, they're the party that don't do shit. You gotta understand that. They act like they do something. They do something. No, they don't. It's their interests they care about. And we gotta stop act like they everything. Yeah. Yeah. There's some bullshit going on in my chat. Appreciate y'all for doing that. Yeah. I had to get that up out of there. I had to get that up out of there. Cause no distractions today. I'm just gonna see there. Yeah. And get that person out of here. Ain't got time for that. But that's how I look at it. But if you understand what's going on, the election it's on and cracking because I don't know tonight we're gonna see who's gonna be the new governor or current or one it's gonna be neck to neck. And they try to say Herschel's leading. He's leading by what point? Not much because of the libertarian. But if the libertarian votes don't get counted or if people stop fucking with him, nobody's not gonna vote for Oliver because he'll lose in the debate. He said I debated those guys. You ain't did shit. And if you get less percentage, they underperform on the polls. See, the polls means a lot of bullshit. You can't go by the polls. You gotta go by actual election. If he can't win this election and they counted his shit and no one didn't really care for him like that, that lets you know most people will laugh at the Libertarian Party. They're a joke. What they've done to change anything. You know what I'm saying? They sabotage shit. They sabotaged Trump's election with the old girl shots at the Mike V. He broke that down, cost Trump's election. and she wouldn't have ran, and that Green Party guy would have ran, uh, Trump would have been president. They would say true to that, but people participated. It was 74 million voted for him. But the reason there was an 80 million, like I said, Biden don't need no help. Yes, he did. He had help by the third parties. You're actually helping the Democrats in a way. And just like I see right now, it's the same thing. They try to say Republicans win. They winning right now because people. That's that last debate. We're talking about right now voting. They last campaign. Not everybody's going to vote for Walker. You got to be careful. That can backfire. And I'm gonna tell you something. You're a Trump guy. Biden's not. Warnock's not. Warnock's backed by the same people that Kanye's complaining about that could print the money. You know, them Edomites is backing Warnock, and them same sexual motherfuckers that's in that church is backing them. The church will always prevail by some way. They just don't want no Herschel because Herschel's controlled by Trump. Anything Trump related, they're trying to get it out of Georgia. I've been noticing that lately, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of it as much as they can because that's bad for business. You know, because Trump exposed a lot of people up top. They got to shut him up. Why you think Rumble is a thing? They just added a live stream. They just advertise. They open up being live stream friendly, but still, that's just worse than YouTube. It's opposite. Is it going to really get some competition or not? That's all I'm saying. But most people they just get caught up on the bullshit and they expect people to change their minds and things is going to be on here for an hour or two. But you got to understand something. Everybody is not going to be on the same wavelength. So you got to understand something. The world is changing because bipartisan politics is a little different how they look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to see the bigger picture here. They looking at it as things is coming around. See, Republicans trying to regain what their barons is from that Biden and Trump shit. But that's not going to matter in due time. So again, you gotta understand what world we live in, because people are still changing all the time. So again, the females against the male, they're just using it with the election. And Democrats, they got that Latin vote. They rely on that Latino vote, and then you have Latinos or Latin people voting for Warnock and Abrams. That's what they're pushing. They're not pushing for the pro-black, and that's great. They show their hand already. See, I already know who's showing whose hand. But everybody else, like the Republican side, they see the Republicans need a black vote. They said the Republicans don't need a black vote. Yeah, they do. They the ones talk about the black vote. Democrats need the black vote, and we know that's the biggest lies of all time. They want every other race besides black people vote. Black people don't always vote Democrat every now and then. The ones that do, it's just there for own interest. They're not interested for so-called black people, but black people do what they do. It don't matter. Both parties ain't shit. Everybody try to say they different. No, they not. They're the same. The only difference is Republicans always been liberal historically. Conservatives don't make it on that side. Democrats have always been conservative. They lock your ass up. You have so-called freedoms, but in reality, you can get locked up saying the wrong shit. I learned that from experience when I got my other job here. Technically, it's like my first actual job, because I was off and on volunteering where I'm originally from. But then when I came here, it just let me know that. And then when Trump was in office and power, yeah, I made a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie, they ain't help you with shit. After they got impeached, whatever, it's just a whole nother story. See, the election of the pandemic was huge, huge reset. And then people think that that's gonna change anything. But you gotta understand something. Stuff changes all the time. Stuff changes all the time. So you expect a lot of people to come in and come through what they're saying is valuable, right? That's why people get caught up on a lot of shit and they be like expect people to change. Now everybody's gonna change in one night. It takes time. It takes the ability, due diligence to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people just get caught up on the wrong shit. And that's the thing how the world is. So again, this stuff matters to certain people. You see this thing going on and on back and forth with people get caught up on the wrong shit. So yeah, everybody's talking about Just Pearly. Who cares about that bitch, man? Like she's irrelevant. She's just using our talking voice, similar to Pathetic G. She's a white version of Pathetic G. And when I say Pathetic G, I'm talking about Sin G. I don't even talk about that hoe. But shouts out to Melly Monaco highlighting my comment. I was laughing at the bullshit and niggas. She liked my ass. She just wants some attention. She wants some dick and attention. That's all she wants. Oh, girl with the Jerry curl was hilarious. You know, the reason I didn't screenshot her, she's a waste of time. She ain't got no ass. She ain't got no body meat to talk about. Like I don't take these people seriously. Shouts out to Too Raw for posting. He said on this day, Alex Trebek died on the 8th of November. He said in 2020, longtime Jeopardy host Alex Trebek passed away at the age of 80 after a long public battle against pancreatic cancer. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, this stuff is on fire, man. You do what you do. And then you get caught up on it. You know, you just embrace it and move on and that's how it is. But people get upset every time what's going on. He's posted another one. She turns 43 today. She's a Scorpio. Her name is Dania Ramirez. Oh, I remember her. She ain't got no chest. She's an actor. She was in The Last Stand. I think I seen that. She was in X-Men. I seen that. The Sopranos. I used to watch The Sopranos a little bit. And she done got older. She looked decent. She just wants some dick and attention. All these hoes do. Who are not aware of the greatness that you are. Yoki, you need to calm down with your Latin butt self. They said alleged killers. A lot of people don't do investigation work. They retarded, man. All these people are stupid. They'll say shit, but don't know that was an inside job with Quavo and them. He knew who the shooter was. They was on the same team. They try to say it was Jay Prince. No, it wasn't. That was an inside job. Everybody knew that. Try to blame it on somebody else on some bullshit. I'm so tired of that shit. It ain't fun. Niggas need to do real research and quit listening to other people hearsay and actually go to the source. And guess what? They retaliate and blew that guy's brains out. A lot of people try to say it didn't happen. No, they killed him. It is what it was. It's nothing to discuss. His somewhat of death was avenged, but you niggas want to drag it on. Don't know what the hell y'all talking about. It's certain niggas I subscribe to talk like that. I'm like, come on, man, stop it. Do some real work, please. And appreciate the ones that shared this live stream, because this is on a short notice. Because I'm talking about the election. I'm talking about a lot of things that here in Georgia, I'm looking at it from like you got two candidates from repeat of 2018. And now you got this candidate won last year against Kelly Loeffler. He's trying to keep that Senate seat. Warnock is going to keep that Senate seat. I will say if he does win and don't go into a runoff, we'll see. They say he's losing bad. Now it could be a close race. Be a close race. It may be a runoff, and if Warnock wins that, people gonna vote for him. But the third party guy, the Oliver, is taking votes away. Is he gonna win the election? No, he needs 15% to make it a runoff. I don't think he can do it. And if he doesn't, Warnock can pull it out. And what's his name? If he drops out of the race, that goes to Warnock by default. But that's how I look at it in terms of the election. But I voted last week, and I said, I read everything on the ballot. I said this the other day on Sunday. What I read is just it's sad and I talked about this with some family members, and yeah, the voting process was good. I ain't gonna tell you who y'all vote for because in reality, it's nobody's business need to know anyway. I ain't one of those people. I used to do that when I was younger. I said, nah, I don't, because I know how easily you niggas get triggered by who voted for that person. Like, who cares? It's your right. You ain't entitled to that. Same way I'm not entitled to who you vote for. That's not my fucking business, and it's not fucking business of yours on this side. So again, we're doing this, and like I said, you gotta have these thinking skills to stay away from these frivolous arguments and relationship talks. They don't help you. But you gotta look at the big picture, what the election symbolizes. There's a lot of symbolisms today. I know people get caught up on the wrong shit, and they be like, "Okay, I'm worrying about this bitch that is using my talking points. She's a ginger. She's talking shit. Blah blah blah. She don't give a fuck about you niggas." But that's how I look at it. But these election days, and then yeah, traffic is slow and everything else, and people get caught up on that. Why is traffic slow? Well, everybody's voting. It's a long line. It's gonna be like this all day until the night when the polls close. But they still dragging last minute. They did that Friday. It was traffic's a little slow. But when on the day of the election, everybody's coming out. They coming out and they voting hard. They doing what they supposed to do. So it's like you see this coming a mile away. Yeah, I'm gonna see something real quick. And I know people get caught up. Yeah, that's people in the chat room. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see something real quick. You had to turn that off in the background. Always got to check in the chat room, see what's up. Yeah. Okay. Up and down. Okay, it's one of those. I'm gonna see something real quick. People get so tied up in here. Let's see something real quick. But when people talk about the election, they talk about various things. I don't care about demographics. Get out of here with that. Y'all pick and choose who y'all want to listen to. I don't force people's hands on here. Y'all okay who y'all listen to? That's fine. It's y'all's freedom. I don't hold people here. And that's just the bottom line. I don't hold people here if they don't want to be here. What's going on, Degenerate Salute? What's going on? But you got people clowning each other as usual. I told you she was gonna bitch slap y'all. Thank God. I peeped this around the early spring of June. That person, what you call her name was Pearly, her stinking behind her ginger self. She was gonna bitch slap you niggas. And she said, all you niggas. She did her homework. And to sneak up on there and use her skin complexion like the pussy's here. So what y'all tripping about? That's how white women talk nowadays. But you gotta look at the big picture, what's going on in the world. So I'm not saying anything bad here or anything. People just out here trying to get their votes off, trying to see if they're gonna put Abrams in office or Kemp. Just keep it the same. A lot of people said Georgia like it. That's them, but that's not all of Georgia. All Georgia don't think the same like that. The state is kind of divided. I'm trying to tell you, everybody's not going to vote for the obvious. You know what I mean? Because everybody's going to look at that and just say, "Hey," they said Republicans run this state. I was like, "Man, the fuck out of here." I hate when family members always trying to say it's always been a red state, and it's bullshit. It's not true. The reason Tennessee is a red state is because the Bush era. You take the Bush era out of it, it's always been a blue state. Always. Georgia always had liberal ass backwards. They try to say it's conservative. No, it's always been liberal, and they lie a lot. And I'm just looking at it like and thinking about it, like pondering. Why would people care about well this thing, like how they gonna vote? This state is so divided. It's like crazy. If y'all live here and understand, this stuff is gonna continue on daily. You know what I'm saying? But that's the point of I'm trying to make with certain people. You know, this election is gonna change a lot of lives. Who's gonna determine things in the future? So they come in full force, and dudes are wasting time arguing, try to say whether this ginger bitch gets to say what she want to say, and that's why you niggas ain't gonna do shit. You're never gonna do shit if you ain't careful. So you're pretty much fucked either way. So let's stop acting like y'all have it all. Y'all don't have it all, man. That hurts y'all in a nutshell. So, I'm just looking at my neighbors driving. Why is everybody voting for Stacey Abrams? Well, abortion. If you're pro-abortion, you're gonna side with that. But those attack ads are retarded. They ain't gonna do nothing. People made their mind up who they gonna vote for or not. That's just what it is. They're not gonna vote for somebody just ignorant like that. They're just not. Georgia's too stupid for that. That hurts them as a state. He said, I thought that states like GA and Tennessee were just, becoming more transient as the states years ago. Well, I would say Georgia. Tennessee, not so much. Tennessee's always been the same, but it always have that conservative in the middle part of Tennessee. It's still conservative. I mean, it's not has changed one bit, but eventually it's gonna go back to the roots where it came from. Georgia's always been ass backwards liberal. It's just now you got people that's trying to fuck with the Democratic blue and trying to be conservative and preach this other shit. That's where the world is now. A lot of people said they're not with that world. That's not true. There's people that are part of that world. They're the majority of what's going on with the imagery and shit. So that's a great point by the degenerate. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I have to look at it. I'm like, okay, world's here now. But you gotta understand most people get caught up dealing with that ginger bitch. So it's pretty much the same, it's pretty much what I'm seeing right now, and people get caught up on it a lot. Try not to doze off here because this is a wild year because everybody is focused on the election and things like that. I'm just speaking my mind on it, and I'll talk to y'all for like 15 to 5 minutes. But the not the next week, but the next week after that, I will have a longer version of the independent thinking series. I'm just gonna go an hour on this one because yeah, I might not open it up today. Yeah, it's not one of them days because I'll open up to y'all this Thursday and then explain what's happening and things like that. So yeah, we'll do another one of these independent thinking series. I don't have to have a panel like that. I was thinking about it. I said, nah, I'm focused on some other shit because everybody's going to talk about that bullshit with old girl. She's very relevant. That's a distraction to control you. But Umar said something very valuable the other day. I saw his old video that someone posted. But you gotta understand what time it is today. So Tuesday's the election day for us, but the Senate, the road to 270 is neck to neck. We're just gonna have to say I'm gonna participate and watch it tonight. Because I already voted last week, so it's pretty much hit or miss over here. Yeah. Shouts out to the people that's watching. And then I had to look at the big picture. I heard D Sharp versus Danica. To me, he trying to get some content off of the bitch. He's trying to get content. I was like, yeah, he's trying to get content off that bitch. But that's how I look at it. But look at this right now. But as I can tell, people are just not being on it today. So I'm just looking at it for real quick. And people just get caught up on other shit. But it is what it is. What's going on, Shade? Salute. Yeah, he's trying to stay face for the pearly chick or whatever. But again, why even care? Exactly. Exactly. I agree with that. Why even care at all? That's what's wrong with niggas trying to be persecuted. I said, oh, he's this and that. I'm like, y'all be on some bullshit. That's what y'all's content is. That's why you get the views. Yeah, it's drama, but it's still bullshit. It's not real content. You're not getting 13,000 views on a live stream. You're just not doing it. You niggas are not capable of that. Are not a part of any community. And that's how, I'm just chilling in the chair right now, relaxing. And it's just like, I see people just come out and they participate in this election and they try to say this ain't anticipation. Well, actually, it's for the women to be anticipated. I'm sorry about that. I dropped my mic. Ooh, shit. But that's how I look at it. Let me take this down. Let me take this down. Let me take this down. So it's pretty much like when you see people coming through and they talking about certain individuals, they don't think outside the box and they get caught up on this relationship. So it's been driven. Mm. It's not even mentioned by me. So that's pretty much it. So, but why even bother that not have your own mind? So I'm saying, but you gotta understand something. That's something to look at in so many aspects. But you got people still caught up on the bullshit. That's usually the way it is. Oh, let me stop. Let me stop. What's going on, Absalom? Salute, salute. Appreciate you. But like I said, I know people, and I know y'all laughing at this avatar right now. Yes, yes, I'm Lincoln. It's off of Video Game Mafia 3, and you can tell by the background. But but don't quote me. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. It is what it is, and that's how I look at it. And I'm gonna play that later around like five something. It's pretty much the same. I'm just saying, like, she has some points, but it's a lot of hypocrisy. And that's how I look at it. And that's how you look at it for so many words. But you got people get caught up on one ginger. But that's how I look at it. But man, this traffic is kind of dead right now. It's like three something right now. And I tell you, man, everybody's early voting. Uh, last week, a couple weeks back, and then you look at it now, you like, wow, this shit is wild, man. This shit is wild. I ain't trying to do nothing here hasty. So it's pretty much it. Yeah, somebody knew that. Yeah, I dropped some shit. Okay. When the hour comes in, I'm gonna talk to y'all for at least 5 or 10 minutes or so. Try not to rant and rave on you. This is an independent thinking series. This is normally um a thinking channel and stay away from relationship topics because they can be toxic, people's emotions. That's why half of these dudes need therapy and just need to calm down, sit. Most of them need a chair. Most of them, or probably a good chunk do. I've been down that road. You got to get over some shit and think some positive things, but no one wants to hear it. Well, that's the problem. It's not wrong being negative now and then for the right people that you have issue with, your rivals. But since we forgot about those principles, But I see people pulling in their driveways. They coming back, but that's how you got to look at it. That's how you got to look at it. And then everybody's voting. I bet you that line, not where we vote at is where I vote at was a senior center. It was kind of not crowded early voting. Everybody else just voted in droves into what districts they in. It's a pile up. By the looks of things, I see people claiming certain things, and that's how people get caught up. Yeah, yeah, I'm back at it. So try not to get clocked over here. And it's just like I just like look at it why people get caught up on the wrong shit, and part of it is attention. Part of it is attention. So again, they say America got free speech. No, they doctor it and they dump things down for certain people. They just get caught up on the wrong shit. So again, this stuff is meaningless what they're doing. You know what I mean? But that's the whole point. You just get caught up and you be like, all right, it's like, hey, what, what's this shit? So we're gonna see how this election plays out. But people is coming back. Ain't that many coming back. It's like less and less people. But that's how you gotta look at people, and you just get caught up and be like, all right, this thing's acting crazy, blah blah blah. It's like, in 2024, people that's what they look for. If they gonna win. We talking about Republican side. So next year it's gonna be a little different for y'all, and the next year after. So it's pretty much like we'll see what's going on. Oh, I'm 40 something minutes in. Shit, let me start talking. Well, the election edition, when I talk about it, it's pretty much the same as always been. I'm just in my little bag and expect much, and that's just how I look at it. And then you get caught up on the other things. But people just want to talk about the obvious in the room, but not taking care of their kids and then be a good old time character. That's a nice hell of a quote. I was quoting on them niggas. But that's how people get caught up on it. Yeah, last week's been wild, but this week is kind of like a little bit of a wash. You got to understand that's how people think, and you get caught up in the moment, anytime, any place, and there it is. Let's see something real quick. Oh man, my brain is like scrambling like eggs right now. I don't know why. That's why I like caffeine in some degree. If you feel sleepy, you got to stay up and get your head moving and bobbing and weaving. That's why y'all hear the mic through that shit. I'm getting crackling down. Leader of the LeBron Poor Play Executive Brigade. Shouts out to Rolf again. Let's see. Yeah, it's a lot going on. But yeah, when I was looking at this election, it's a repeat of 2018 all over again. The governor race, but the Senate race is a little different. Everybody said we need to stop Warnock with those ads. We need to stop him. It sounds so pathetic. This ain't the 1950s. This ain't the 90s. This ain't the 20th century talking was. Uh, I don't know what to say to him. I tell him to grow up. So I'm just looking at it for real quick. Try not to dozy doze. But I don't see why people be tripping about old girl like that. I don't care for her like that. And you just like, hey, let's get up on that. And that's how I look at it, because when people get upset about certain individuals they don't want to vote for, things happen, you know. I'm peeking a little bit, but you gotta understand that's the stuff that you're gonna deal with all the time, and then people get caught up on the little shit, and it's just crazy. But that shows you I don't talk about the relationship concept. It's a waste of time. I know people's got problems with both sexes and other dudes too. Then you got women say they're predominantly women, which they're established it right. But then, yeah, and that's pretty much sums up what I say about old girl and all them. But for this week, yes, we're gonna talk about humanism. We're gonna break down what humanism is and how we're gonna react to this new ideology. Because I'm gonna touch on some things I haven't touched. I'm gonna touch on humanism. We're gonna talk about individualism. We're gonna talk about those two things in a political forum. Last time you're gonna see this type of content, it's gonna be up for a while. I'm just gonna drop pre-records and we'll come up with content that suits for a win season. Then I'll drop the shit later night. Y'all can watch it and I can monitor what's going on, and that's it. That's how I'm gonna do my Wednesdays. Thursday's a little different. It's complicated. We gotta see what we got. And that's how I'm gonna look at it. That's 326, man. Woo. Sinus is acting up. But that's how I'm gonna look at it. But the election, it's gonna make a big difference. But we'll see who's gonna participate. Not, a lot of people said they're anti. No, they're not. You got a lot of females gonna vote for her, and they're gonna vote on election day too. That's gonna be the thing. They said Stacey's right behind. That's early. It's probably close now. They see who's gonna win it or not. You know, people gonna vote who they're gonna vote for. And then I found something interesting my mom read about people's digestive tract. Like a lot of people is overweight. I forget what it's called. It's through fecal matter. And it causes a lot of damage, a lot of diseases onset, and then people start dying. I found that very interesting. And then that doctor was trying to sell something. I said, oh man, gotta watch that. Makes sense what he said to the patient. They took this one dude, he said he was pregnant. They had to cut his whole body open and get that feces out of his midsection, his stomach. I said, damn, it was a black dude, I believe. And it's a mess. I don't know if he's a white dude or a black dude, but they had to cut his whole guts out because of that shit. And his regular bowel movements is not consistent with your normal color, they would say. And then this doctor was selling some type of herbal shit that's better than a laxative and everything else. I said, oh wow. Yeah, I know I'm getting graphic, but I'm just saying when she read that little link of information, I said, man, talk about health and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah. That shit's wild. Some crazy shit. Yeah, I can be a little dark every now and then, but it gets like that every now and then. So you get caught up and you'll hear me saying a lot of stuff that's painful, but you gotta understand that this stuff is going on, and especially this election. This is a damaging year. You know, it's a damaging year. So it's pretty much a tit for tat type situation. So I'm just gonna look at it for what it is, and I'm just like looking at it. Try not to cover this sound. I'll see if it does some cover. You know, I'm just looking at it. Yeah. Let's go look at it. All right. So, like when I think about this election, it's very interesting for my taking. It's not something I would just speak on all the time. And then you got people talking about who's gonna win this and that. Well, we gotta wait and see. I'm gonna watch it tonight. And if it becomes a runoff on both candidates, December, because this election is like a tug of war because of the libertarian kind of run interference. And I found out his name was Oliver. I don't know his first name. He's not gonna win that. This is kind of like 2020 all over again because the elections in November. That's what people care about. They'll be full of turkeys and all that other bullshit. But December is gonna be an interesting month. Next month's gonna be very, 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 very interesting. because this month is gonna be wild. We're in Scorpion season, Scorpio season. But people's gonna get caught up on the daily elections and things like that. Yeah, it's an hour in, so we got a couple more minutes. I said 10 to 15. I'm gonna drop it to 5 minutes because I'm gonna get some rest and watch this election later because this is just a notice. And Pete, what I'm saying is this stuff is gonna get real. This stuff is gonna get real, and we're gonna see what tonight is, and that's pretty much it. So we talk about this election here, like with old girl Stacy and old boy Kemp. It's like a lot of say he's whooping ass. Well, it's early. You can't say that. That numbers change over time. You just gotta watch it. He ain't still governor to get it. That's a chance he could lose it too. But but a lot of it is they ain't ready for a woman. But there's other women are fighting for that abortion rights and try to overturn shit. Women gonna get that. They gonna fight like hell in these polls. To well, right now and tonight, it's gonna be very, very, very interesting. So y'all be careful out there if y'all live in the state of Georgia. They on some bullshit. And normally they just gonna be who they are. They're gonna show their hands. So it's gonna be hectic. It's gonna be hectic. There's gonna be some recounts. I'll tell you that right now. It's gonna be some recounts. There's gonna be some recounts. If you live here, there's gonna be some recounts. They said there's nothing we can do. Nah, 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 nah. I tried to tell her, so you don't know politics. I don't think she understands. She don't know politics. She knew politics like I do. She would understand that they always do this. This is a way to control certain people's narratives, but it don't always work that way. People don't understand how it works in the state run race, especially the most important one y'all should be worried about if you want laws to change is your district attorney. And shouts out to this guy that does the law reviews. His name is The Professional. I got it from him. And when he broke that down, that's the most important things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important things to talk about. So, they determine the laws, how they're going to move forward and things like that. But you got to understand, this stuff is key. When you know the election is nigh, you know what time it is. But you know what I'm saying? But that's just how people get down and they get caught up. But mainly, I'm just like looking here, like, look, it's here. People gonna vote who they gonna vote for. The women's gonna come in droves, and they already right now, but it's gonna be at night. They gonna still be packed by that line, whatever. So again, we're gonna see some things. We're gonna see some things. We're not trying to promote anything. It's just what it is. I ain't got it up yet. Okay. I ain't got it up yet. I ain't got it up yet. We're gonna let y'all know that this thing is gonna be here on and cracking. So let's see what's going on here. Shouts out to the people that came through. Appreciate everybody. Shout out. Shouts out to Tampa, Degenerate. Who else came through? She APTV. Y'all subscribe to Absalom, please, man. This dude's hilarious. He be going in on everybody. He said, "Hunting season zero is here," and I salute it. Big J's on a warpath as usual. But that's how it is. But you got people get caught up on some bullshit with that Pearly woman, because not focusing on what's really going to happen in the future. Yeah, y'all ain't got somewhat of a voice, so this thing can collapse any day. Like I said, everybody's talking about Esau and this and that, but shouts out to the ones that's doing the work. All right, that's all I got. So this is the embracing of being an independent thinker. Uh, I will say the 19th edition. This is the 19th edition of the Independent Thinking series, and just my thoughts on the election in general of today. So, it's pretty much, I'm just going to wrap this up. And I'll see y'all tomorrow with humanism. I'm going to break down what it is and the ideology, and I'll make a part two of the series as well. And then, yes, we're going to talk about individualism and everything else. This is just like a debrief and then talk about what's going on here in Georgia with this election because traffic's kind of quiet. Pretty much it. So, with that, I want to say peace and shalom, and I'm out.